Hello, friends. I decided to pop in today, Friday. I don't usually pop in on Fridays. However, we today so let me start by saying hello. I am Jillian Leslie. I am host of the Blogger Genius podcast. So maybe you've listened to my podcast. I am also with my husband, David, the founder of the Milo Tree pop-up app that grows your followers, your organic, real followers on Instagram and Pinterest and Facebook and YouTube. Hi, people who have joined. Welcome. And your email list and all of that stuff. And we built it for ourselves, for our other site, Catch My Party. And when it worked really well, we rolled it out as a separate company to help you bloggers and online entrepreneurs grow your followers and your email list. I'm also a business coach. And the reason I wanted to come on was it's fresh in my mind. Today was the last day we met in our 6-week coaching group. And it was supposed to be last week, but because of the crazy weather in Austin, we pushed it to today. And I have to tell you, I always get a little choked up because I get connected to these people and I feel really invested in them and their lives. And so it was really nice in our last meeting. And then we have an ongoing group. So I hope a bunch of them join so I can continue to be a part of their journey. But the reason I really wanted to talk today is because every group that we coach has like a theme. It's super interesting. And this group really had this theme of what is their niche. And when I first started working with many of them, they pushed back when I would say, well, what exactly is your niche? And they would say something very broad. And I'd say, well, can you narrow that down? And a bunch of people felt like I was maybe taking away some of their creativity by saying, you want to be like, you got to pick a lane. And it was like, well, what do you mean? I have this very broad lane and I can, be in the broad lane. And what was so neat about it was during the 6 weeks, I watched each one have that light bulb moment where they went, oh my God, I get what Jillian's talking about. And weirdly, when you figure out what your niche is, it's freeing. I always compare it to a Crayola box. Like, I want people to only have a Crayola box that has 8 crayons in it. Like, you don't need 64 crayons. If you have 8 crayons, you know those crayons really well. You know the colors that you can draw. You know the limitations. And I have found this in my own businesses. Limitations they're a bummer. Like, I wish I had infinite money and infinite time and I could hire all these people and I could just grow our business by throwing lots of money at advertising and doing all this. But the truth is that limitations aren't bad. They actually can give you guardrails. So when you think about your niche and you think like, ooh, I don't really want to niche down. I want to talk about food and family and travel and home decor and parenting and all of that. I say that's too much. It's really too much. And that when you can get down to 8 crayons in your crayon box, you know so much more. So what was interesting was from where this group started to where they ended up was so fascinating. And that today I asked each person to go around and share, like, what did they learn in the group? And a lot of them talked about the fact that it took them a while to really figure out what their niche was. But as they started to dig in, A, it was easier for them to create content, and B, they were seeing more success because their audience knew what they were about, knew what kind of food blogger they were, and they weren't just a pretty food blogger, or they weren't just a DIY person, but they were a painter. It was so interesting, or they didn't just talk about wellness, but they talked about a certain kind of, say, mental illness. And it was so freeing. And that's what I want to share today. Finding your niche can lead to both freedom and growth, accelerated growth, because you know what you're talking about and your audience knows what you're talking about. They know, like, Jillian, like, come to me, not for recipes. I'm not the best cook. I'm not, or makeup tips. Like, no, go to my daughter for makeup tips because she's like amazing at it. And like, don't come to me for that, or skincare, or like decor. I'm not very good. But I love talking about growing businesses. So come to me for that. Come to me for blogging. I've been at it a long time. I have an MBA. I get it. I build businesses with my husband. We work really closely with bloggers. I get to talk to them on my podcast. Come to me for business advice, but not for recipes. And that's the same way I want people to think about you. What do they come to you for? And this is another thing that I have to share. So we've worked with, I don't know, hundreds of bloggers. And I talk a lot about niching down, and people say, but what if my niche is too small? And in my experience, that's a big fear people have. Like, I'm going to find a niche, that's way too small. And I would say, first of all, Google it and see if there is content in that niche. And two, chances are it's not. I have met so many bloggers who think they are niched down, and they could niche down even further. And I have met very few bloggers. I want to say, like, I can't even name one off the top of my head who has niched down too far and can't build a business. It's really weird. And I would argue the internet is a big place, and you can find your people. So just think about that. And the best way to test if you've niched down too far is just Google your niche. Google problems. You're solving a problem with your blog. So what is the problem? Put it in Google and see. Put it in Pinterest. See what the response is, and you will know if you've niched down too far. But if you have, I'd love to hear from you. Reach out to me. Email me at jillian@milotree.com. I want to know, like, how you niched down too far and where you are now. But I will tell you, I've not seen it. I really haven't seen it. So that's okay. So this is really the gist of what I wanted to talk about: niching down. And chances are you could challenge yourself to go further. If you wanted to reach out to me and ask me if I think your niche is niched down enough, please do. Just message me. You can find me, you can find me on Instagram at milotree, or here, leave a comment. But really think about it. It leads to, this is the thing I want to yell from the rooftops. It leads to more freedom. It doesn't tie your hands behind your back. It makes you an expert, and it's so easy then to come up with content people say, well, that's the issue. I'm going to run out of content. And I say, I challenge you to run out of content, because chances are there is a new angle to approach your content creation. So please give me feedback. Tell me what you think about this. If you are watching the replay, leave a comment that says #replay so that I can, I know where you come from. And also, so if you have a question about niching down, please let me know, because this is like so buzzing in my brain right now. And I just had to download it and share it. I know we all talk about it. I've done a bunch of podcast episodes about it, but I think that when it's us, we think to ourselves, ooh, no, not me. That doesn't apply to me. Or I don't want you to infringe upon my creativity. And I want to say, if you need to blog if you call yourself a lifestyle blogger, I want you to reassess being a lifestyle blogger, because I would argue lifestyle is not a niche. And if you see yourself going, but I have to talk about parenting, and I have to talk about travel, and I have to talk about food, and I have to talk about DIY, you are a hobby blogger. There's no judgment there at all. Like, awesome, go do that. But that isn't a business. It's not a business. And it's going to be really difficult to grow that into a business. So just think about what I'm saying and see if it resonates, see if you have any questions. But I challenge you to niche down. In fact, I think what I will do as a companion to this is I'm going to put a post in the Facebook group, and I am going to ask people what their niche is. And it's just so that you can see the different niches people are in and how specific, how niched down they are. So that's what I wanted to talk about. And I want to wish you a very happy, a happy weekend ahead. And and you know what? I think because of the weirdness that happened in Austin and the fact that I was like, I didn't have internet and I didn't have electricity, I feel like I'm craving it. Kind of like, I don't know, when you're on a diet, you can't eat the chocolate cake, and then all of a sudden you decide you're off the diet, and then you eat a lot of chocolate cake. It's not a good story, but you get my point. That's how I feel. Like I just want to connect. I just want to pop in here. I just want to go, I'm back, and it's fun, and be part of this awesome community of people. And there you go. So have a great weekend, and I will be Monday, I will be talking about my newest podcast episode. I don't know if you listened to it, but it was all about what it was like going through the whole kind of crazy storm in Austin. And right now I am getting a podcast together to talk about Clubhouse, which is a really new, interesting app. And if you would like, I've got a bunch of Clubhouse invites. If you'd like one, just message me and send me your phone number and make sure you are on an Apple device, and I will share it with you. All right. Have a great Friday. Talk to you soon. Bye.